We use very old kernel, NATX 7.26, on our evaluation board. Still now, we think naturally to update it. But the guy who ported it to our evaluation board has already left our project. So I decided to update it by myself, although I didn't know the NATX kernel well. The goal of porting: confirm to boot nutshell with NATX 12.4 on our evaluation board and contribute the code. What I did: at first, reading the NATX document. Second, analyzing the NATX boot sequence. Third, implementing the SOC and board. Fourth, contributing the code. I'll explain them. Reading the NATX document. I read a part of NATX document as below listed. It was a bit hard work for me, actually, because of my poor English. Anyway, I got a lot of hints by reading these documents, but not enough to know the details of how to port NATX, although I think it is normal for OSS kernel. So I decided to analyze NATX kernel code about the boot sequence to get enough knowledge. Analyzing the NATX boot sequence. I think to port NATX properly, we have to understand the boot sequence and related kernel configurations. This sequence diagram is the one of my analysis result. At the analysis, I assumed CXD56 and non-SMP and flat build. The beginning of boot sequence is __ start. __ start we call NX start. NX start will initialize the kernel and call NSH main. NSH main will execute nutshell. NX start is NATX standard function, but the behavior depends on some kernel configurations. For example, the calling NSH main is also configured. I think almost today's listeners have well known this sequence and related kernel configurations, but a beginner like me will not know. And I found following kernel configurations by analyzing the boot sequence. I think it is good to consider them, although almost all of them might be set as default. And implementing the SOC and board. Based on the analysis of boot sequence, I think the build system will teach the list implementation for SOC and board directory, and these implementations are almost done by copy and paste from the other SOC and board directory if there is the source code for the target hardware IP in upstream. If there was not the source code in upstream, the porter should implement by himself. In my case, I referred the implementation CXD56 because our SOC has same CPU and serial as CXD56. I implemented the SOC and board with following steps. Step 1, add and register the SOC and board directory. Second, configuring. Third, compiling. The compiling will teach what source files are needed by SOC and board directory to pass the compiling. Fourth, linking. The linking will teach what symbols are needed by SOC and board directory to pass the linking. Implementing. I did implement the symbols which are needed by linking. 6. Verifying. I got a problem to boot nutshell about this. See the pull request about vector. After got successfully the boot, I checked the timeline implementation and did OS test. I love OS test. I really appreciate the developer of OS test because I think the path of OS test is one of proof of for proof proper porting. Although I don't know the details of OS test, but anyway I got the proof. This made me to reduce the time to verify. And contributing the code, I invoked the three items, this pull request, and already merged. Uh, I appreciate the reviewer for these pull requests. And last slide, feelings. I think the guy who wants to port NuttX is expected to understand NuttX kernel code and related kernel configurations, but getting enough knowledge is needed to read the kernel code deeply. To reduce the time for NuttX beginner who wants to port, I will try to make the guide based on my porting journey and contribute it. That's all. Thank you for your listening.
It is really nice to see a second person stating how easy it is to port NuttX to a new board and to share the porting experience that he had to also to share a bit of the experience. And thank you, Miyashita-san, for your intention of sharing the porting guide.
Yeah, I think it will be very useful.
It will be useful for many new developers and maybe many companies that are afraid of trying because they don't know how to low is the entry barrier.
Yeah, I think we have a documentation on guide how to port, but it was very old and written by Greg himself, and he has a very high level, very deep view. But for end user, it's better to have some more abstract ideas how to do this because it makes it simple to someone have the because for example he already know everything about the system. So you don't know all the traps that you fall. So you know that now when you do the port. Yeah.
Also, from when that guide has been done until now, we have many more platforms, architectures actually, that have been added, and then if your board is in, it's just to port.
Exactly.
Miyashita-san's case.
Yeah.
If you are supposed to use a new architecture and you start implementing the architecture from scratch, then Greg's guide is great.
Exactly. I think there are many levels of the because you can just port a new board for some microcontroller that already exists that's similar to other board. That's the easiest part. Or you want to add a new microcontroller like the CXD32, right? The other Sony chip, and there's another level of difficulty, and there's this other case that
Which is the hardest.
The hardest that the manual that Greg created is very good because he go all the details, but this is the most difficult part because you are create something really from the scratch. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Do we have other questions from the audience? Please.
Do you have some plans to release CXD32?
Good question.
Plans to release the CXD32 hardware to the market?
We want to continue to contribution about the CXD32, but our project now prioritizes release. So contribution is suspended now, unfortunately.
The question is not about the contribution, it's about the hardware.
Hardware.
Can we get the hardware if we are
Ah,
developers?
sorry.
I'm talking about hardware.
Sorry.
Something like board or
Engineering samples.
Of course, I want to sell our evaluation board in market, but our business strategy does not have such plan. Sorry.
So maybe at a later time there will be a version that we can use.
Next generation.
Let's hope for it.
I think it's a rare case for not released board and implementation. So I think I want to use new board.
Hopefully we will have it.
Not released board, but implementation is exist.
Only SOC. Only SOC directory. Board directory is located out of 3.
Not for board. But
Yes.
uh,
And so we have to continue to check the upstream by ourselves.
thank you.
There is some question from Thomas in the chat. How long it took to start the porting? How the porting went? So
Actually, almost activity was reading document and analyzation. Implementing, the time of implementing was not so long, only 2 or 3 weeks.
2 or 3 weeks. Good. And he asked about what was the CPU, but I think we already said it. Right?
I think that we need a clarification, and I'm quite curious. So you say 2 3 weeks. Was that implementation done all by yourself, or you had a team that worked for 3 weeks?
All by myself.
So it's 3 weeks manpower.
Or yeah,
One member.
Yeah.
nice.
Fuki-san, you had a question.
Yeah. Just some small question. So can you give the developers who want to start a Navex or to contribute to the Navex community? So from your journey, do you have any? If you can give us some advice, it is very useful.
If I can, I want to. Mhm.
宮下さん。
宮下さんなんか今から開発したい人とかにアドバイスありませんか？っていうのを聞きました。
アドバイス。
アドバイス。
I think anyway, reading code. At first, reading the code. Yes. So I want to make a guideline.
How easy was to contribute to the NATEX project? Because I saw that you have a few contributions listed.
Mm-hmm.
How easy was it to contribute to the code?
Maybe for beginner, the hurdle is a bit high. In my case, Ishikawa-san follow me. Ari follow me. Koizumi-san follow me. That is my advantage. You make me to the hard low. How do I say about it? I was just follower for you.
We contributed to the NATEX community, but my question was, how hard do you feel that was to push the patches and then get community review, basically?
I think basically, the guy who wanted to involve plurality needed the skills about embedded software. But the guy who has such skills, not so difficult, I think.
Nice. Thank you very much. Do we have other questions?
It's not question, it's kind of the comment. Yeah, about the guideline. I think of course, the guideline. I think it's not only the kind of the document. For example, if we could, if we provide kind of the script to generate the template or the skeleton things. And for example, the execute the script with specific CPU architecture, then generate the kind of the template. That is much more easier to
Convenient.
Yeah.
I think that is another solution.
Mm.
But I think that solution needs the maintenance cost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
we miss on the developers that will understand the platform,
Mm.
because everything will be generated, they will take it as granted, and then when you end up with a bug, you don't really know where to get it
Yeah,
from.
it's a two
Yeah.
side of the same coin.
Yeah.
It's easy because you can automate the process, but it's like the artificial intelligence today. It can do everything for you, but you never know what it's doing at the end of the day.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. But I think the script will be.
So yeah, both things is important. The guideline, like your journey, and script to make it quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move to next.
Just give me a second.
Okay. Thank you. Very good.
Thank you very much.